Ghanatube so for open some ahudo etia now odi weni action here the latest, the happenings, the shocks, the happy ones and all that was for Nina Ghanatube so and I was Ebeka etem personal young wasted time bibiano was for Dimechi Nanya a war on young Kungoti and Bra.
Very well, we have filed an election petition against the declaration of Honorable Annoh Dompreh as the winner of that contest, and the Kufridwa High Court is handling that. I've been reliably informed that they are now properly served. Lawyer Darren Maku is the one representing him, and then so we are pursuing the case. We are against the declaration. It wasn't proper. Fake pink sheets, scam ones were used to declare him. On our blind side, because we were in court, we filed stay of execution of the mandamus that was filed at the High Court, and they went ahead and declared him. So we are pursuing that matter vigorously.
What do you want to achieve in the end? I mean, the MP, one would say, is already in office in Parliament. I mean, representing his people, the same way you also want to represent the people.
He was not validly elected. You see, the fact that he managed his way into the House means that he was validly elected. He was not validly elected. This is a crooked way of trying to lord himself over the electorate in that constituency. They voted him out, but he managed his way through these crooked means. And we must make sure that our the sanctity of our democracy and electoral processes are upheld. We can't allow this, and so therefore we are going to pursue it and make sure the rightful elected person represents the people in the August House. If we allow this, we are setting a dangerous precedent that anybody who thinks that he has managed to get some crooked electoral officers on his side, they'll go and declare them winners. And we'll say, oh, okay, so long as he's in Parliament, we shall allow that. We are not going to allow that. We want the right thing to be done, because we saw it at Tesano when they came to do the declaration. That's why they couldn't do it, because they brought fake pink sheets. Scan one, photocopies one. Where did they get them from? That's why we resisted them at that place. And yet, they went behind the scene, organized themselves, got some crooked electoral officers on their side, and went ahead and declared it.
No, but they were all in the Supreme Court, where the Supreme Court made certain directives that the Nsaom Edwejiri constituency, for instance, since the process hadn't ended, they should continue and do same, and that was done.
That's what I'm saying, that when they did that and when they were telling them that they should refer back to what the High Court was talking about. We have to use the proper thing, because at IPAC we all disagree. I say disagree because they were trying to talk of scan copies or photocopies, and we said no, we are not going to accept that. So we came to a conclusion that, look, if you have the original pink sheets, we can go ahead with the declarations, but they don't have. And Sawan Adojiri, for instance, they use scan copies and photocopies one. Where is the original? You are using photocopies. That's how he was declared.
Why didn't you object to it? You waited all this while, and you are still raising concerns.
Well, they did it. They hurriedly did it and quickly declared him and ran to gazette him. And we had a very short period for Parliament to be put in place for the inauguration of the president. So that's how they managed their way through. But we also went through the CI 127. There's a window, 21 hours, 21 days after declaration. You can file an election petition, right? And we've availed ourselves to the window, and then we are pursuing him. So,
how soon do you want this issue to be dealt with?
In fact, as early as possible, because the gentleman is a nuisance in the house. He's not supposed to be in that house. He's not supposed. He's a nuisance. We describe him as a fugitive because he's running from the law. He must come and face it. Let's deal with the matter. Let the court order for us to review those pink sheets, and you will see that this man was not properly declared, because he will be exposed big time. We know what we are doing, and we'll make sure that this gentleman will not survive in the house. We'll use every legal means to get him out from the house. We have served notice. A notice is hereby served. Watch it.
And before we go, the Ministry of Food and Agriculture, through the West African Food System Resilience Program, FSRP, has reaffirmed its commitment to tackling tomato shortages and curbing excessive imports during the dry season. To stabilize market prices and enhance local production, the ministry is implementing a tomato intensification program in key growing areas across the country. Channel 1 News' Ashanti Regional Correspondent Doris Lonta reports.
Tomatoes, whether fresh or processed, are a staple in nearly all Guinean dishes. Despite this, Ghana currently imports approximately 90% of its fresh tomatoes from Burkina Faso. This heavy reliance on imports raises concerns among crop researchers and agricultural stakeholders, given the country's potential to meet its own demand. Under the FSRP Norwegian Tomato Scheme, 1,500 tomato farmers are receiving vital inputs and training in advanced farming techniques, with the goal of producing 10,000 metric tons of tomatoes within the first quarter of the year. This initiative is expected to boost yields and create a more resilient tomato farming system. Speaking on the project, Dr. Michael Kwabena Osei, Principal Research Scientist and Tomato Breeder at CSIR Crop Research Institute, alongside Dr. Gabriel Ousu, Project Officer for the Norwegian Tomato Support under FSRP, provided insight into the program's progress and impact.
Currently, you notice that there's a high demand for tomato, but when it comes to production, you are not able to produce enough to supplement this, and because of that, we have to import tomato from Burkina Faso and then European as far as these processed tomatoes are concerned. Now, as to how much can we reduce, so if you look at what Doug indicated, if you are looking at a 5-year term, then in the next maybe 2-3 years, we should be able to reduce more than 50% of the importation, and then in the long term, then we can get to 90 to 100.
The FSRP project contracted CRI to produce breeder seed and foundation seed, and also the project has also contracted a private entity to produce certified tomato seeds at Wenchi.
Dr. Osei emphasized the need for increased investment in local tomato production, highlighting its potential to significantly contribute to Ghana's economy.
And when it comes to seeds or the variety, we are in the right place to provide for them, especially when we have funding. And so we want to turn the Norwegian whereby FSRP, but we call on other donors to come on board and help us. We have a number of varieties to go through and release.
The initiative aims to reduce the excessive importation of tomatoes from other countries to stabilize prices in the Ghanaian market. Reporting for Channel 1 News, I'm Doris Lonta, Ashanti.
I was a woman as a pass and would image the cotier and send a buy. Now the comment in the Hukime, our comment section. I met pray, I can Kanina Eddie Amo. I had a Ghana Tube for the story as usual. I was here for a crown.